when you're down, what do you do? When you're down, what do you do? What do most people do when you're down? Eat? Okay. How about music? People, when they get sad, they will listen to music. And what does the music do? The music hits the very emotions and feelings inside, controls the mind. And so the music makes you feel a little better because you're down that way. So you're depressed. You listen to your favorite song, favorite music makes you feel good. Eating also, yes, helps a lot. Eating some food that will make you feel good, you know. And you'll be surprised that each person have their favorite food that makes them feel better. Right? Of course, everybody thinks it's sweet, right? But not all the time it's sweet, right? Because sometimes the sweet can hurt you. But you'll find that some people, of course, will feel better when they drink something. Not alcohol, but drink something. Mostly number 9 people, I think. Yeah, the people who are number 9s always feel good when they drink something. Because their body gets dehydrated easily. And that creates depression. Yes. And if you are number 2, then you want sugar right away. You want sweet. Right? Okay? Number 6, they usually want to eat something solid. You know, it makes them feel a little bit better too. So different people have different types of food that affects them. So according to your life code as well. Okay? But it's how you eat, how you sleep, and how you feel and your desire to control your peace of mind. So if you know you can't afford something, don't buy it. And don't go on credit, because that creates more problems. Okay? And also, love. Love is what makes us all feel good. You know, no matter how bad a mood you are in, and somebody comes and flatters you or hugs you and everything, and gives you that love, you feel better. So instead of doing it for 10 minutes, why can't we extend it all our life like that? Make love come to us all our life. And so love, of course, cures everything. You know, once you get love, you forget about everything else. You know, it's like that's the most important thing. Which is the most important thing? Love. Because why? Because we want to belong to somebody. Each of us human being is not an island. No man is an island. We must be connected to somebody. Right? And you try to live alone, it's depressing. And those who say they live alone, they're happy, that's not true. Because being alone, being not connected, can never be happiness. And so that's why we have relationships. We must have friends, we must have brothers and sisters and so on when we don't talk to each other, brothers and sisters, you know, we become unhappy. So even a miserable wife is still there, is still a relationship. Even a miserable husband is still a relationship. Right? Like I always give the story, I tested that. The 75-year-old lady, the 72-year-old lady came to see me, and she said, oh, this husband she has is so troublesome, he's always quarreling, and the guy was 75 years old, and she said, oh, you know, he's always quarreling, he throws his clothes and socks all over the place, he makes me do cleaning, he snores when I sleep, and so on. And I said, okay, my dear, here's what I'll do. I'll give you a prayer that he will die in 2 weeks. So she said, you know, Swami, he's not that bad. it's okay, I'll pick up his clothes and I'll stand the snoring a little bit and fun. See, although he's miserable, she doesn't want to lose him. So that's our human nature. We cling to each other. So our relationships are what create our happiness also. And Lord Krishna, in the Bhagavad Gita, talks about relationship. Our relationship is very important. Right? But remember, the relationship doesn't have to be physical. When I think of my Guru, I'm happy. When I think of my Sita, I'm happy. Because she doesn't necessarily have to be there. The fact that you have someone in your life creates happiness. Just knowing that they are there. Right? And that's what Lord Krishna and Radha means. Lord Krishna is a spark of love in your heart, and Radha is the companion to that heart. And so when we say Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai, Radha Manohara Govinda Jai means I am in love. I have love. I have love in my life. And therefore I'm happy. So I don't need to see Sita. I just have to think about her. Sita is my wife. I just have to think about her. And that's enough for me. Same thing with my kids. I don't need to see them. They're in college and everything. I just have to know that they are there, and that's enough happiness for me. Why can't you find that happiness in your life, in your mind? On a negative day, check yourself, calm down, and think of the other person's mind. On a positive day, be happy. I am in love. A gentleman approached me the other day, and he says, "What are those beads that you're wearing in your neck?" And he says, "What is those beads?" And he's from India. So I noticed he had a different kind of bead, probably a little bit bigger. So he said, "Well, those beads are there." I said, "Well, those beads come from a tree in India. They come naturally like that, and they're good for your health and your circulation, and, So I said, "Well," so he said, "Well, what if I give you a better bead? What if I sell you a better bead that's going to do much better than this bead?" I said, "What kind of bead are you going to sell me?" He says, "Well, this one has a special structure, special bead, and it's been blessed." Right? And I said, "You think that mine is not blessed?" He said, "Yeah, but mine has more energy." So I said, "Well, what's your birthday then?" Of course, that's going to start it. I said, "What's your birthday?" And he gave me his birthday, and I said, "Yeah, you're not doing too well, you have a lot of problems in your life with your family." And he says, "How do you know that?" I said, "Well, I'm just a little bit of an astrologer." So I said, "Well, obviously your bead is not helping me, right? But I'm happy. I don't have no problems, but you have a lot of problems. Maybe you need my bead." So we got into the conversation, and then eventually I tried to tell him that it's not the bead that's making it happen. It's the condition of his mind and the kind of knowledge he has that's going to make him better. So it's important that when you take advice from someone, you first find out how the advisor is doing. That's how you know you have a good teacher or a good advisor. If the advisor is not happy, how can he advise you? And that was illustrated in the story of Job. You know, Job in the Bible, he had lost everything. He lost all his lands and everything. And his wife was advising him. They were losing everything. The wife was advising him, telling him, listen, give up your God. Your God is not working. He's not doing anything for you. And Job says, no, I'm not going to give up my God. I'm going to hold on to my God. And so he held on. And then one day the Lord appeared to him and says, Job, you have faith. If I wanted, I could have taken away the moon and the sun, the earth and everything. That means you'll be dead. So if you're alive, this is a gift of God. If you're alive, you're a gift of God. That alone tells you that you are already doing well. But if you're sad and you're crying and you're unhappy, it's because you have created it in your life. So you can uncreate it. And that's what we call karma. Karma comes sometimes without you realizing. For example, we talk about how you get your karma from your parents. Right? If your father was not a loving father and didn't hug you that much and you didn't have a good relationship with your father, in your love life you'll have the same difficulties with your husband. So that's karma. So that's something you need to find out about it and work on it and learn now how to receive love. Usually women who are not close to their fathers in their young age don't know how to receive the love of their husbands. So we create our problems by a lack of knowledge, and we create our unhappiness by losing our faith in things. So you have to create your happiness by what you call purpose. Purpose, as I wrote in the paper, is when we have something to live for. Now, why do people commit suicide? It's because they have given up life. They feel that there's nobody there for them. And this person develops this suicide from inside because they're feeling rejected. They have no connection. They have no appreciation for what they have around them. And that's why they commit suicide. So children, especially today, teenagers, they have no purpose. And the reason why they have no purpose is because when they were young, they were not taught that music is important. You know, in the old days, before they had internet and so on, the kids would be taught in high school music, special skills, talents, acting and so on when they were young, and so they had a purpose. These days the kids are just left alone. They're left to do whatever they feel like, and they find no purpose. And that's why we have a lot of distressed teenagers who go to drugs and alcohol, because that becomes a purpose. When you have a purpose, you have something to live for.